It's March, which means it's time for another episode of Nick Madness 2018 Character Edition. I'm Casey.
And I'm Ashley. Last time we had our Nick Madness preview. We sort of gave our predictions for what we thought was going to happen in the upcoming round, which just happened. So we'll have to kind of go through and talk through all our stuff. But man, it started up, guys. I'm feeling hyped as ever, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, we were so excited last week. I think it's safe to say we're even more excited now. 64 characters was a lot to handle. Now we're only down to 32. Things are only getting more intense, and we have lots to break down today.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going to start, how we're going to start. We had a lot to cover and a lot of upcoming things, as well as I think there's a couple of the prediction things we should get into, and all the different possible champs and everything. Anyways.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're right. So how tonight is going to work on this episode, we're going to do our segment in 3 parts. We've got the round 1 results. We're going to run down every game and the upsets, the spread of the votes. Then we'll talk about our prediction leaderboards. Like Ashley said, we'll look at who everyone predicted to be the champion. We won't really be calling out individual people's future predictions yet, but we will be talking about what has already happened, just because we don't want to influence the way that anybody votes in the actual polls. We'll talk about the leaderboard, our point system, all of that. Then, thirdly, we will talk about the new matchups that will be happening this Saturday and Sunday. Those will be 2-day Twitter polls now. And it'll be everyone who won this week now faces off again, because that's how this works. It's tough, it's brutal, but it is hopefully entertaining, and hopefully you guys are all having a good time with it.
And if you're new to this, all of the polls you can find on our Twitter. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at FNN_podcast. Make sure you're seeing all of the lovely polls. There's a lot of them that will be flooded in there. We also do have a Facebook, facebook.com/FNN podcast. And we have a YouTube page as well. Make sure to review us on Apple Podcasts too. That way other people can find the podcast, get hyped up for Nick Madness. And it's been a blast so far. Thanks to everyone who voted, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's been lots of excitement around the Nickelodeon sort of Twitterverse that exists. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, my hashtag Friday Night Nickloons. Now let's get started.
From the Nicktoon Animation Studio in Hollywood.
All right, so let's go ahead and just start off with our results of round 1. Let's go through. Start in the top left of the bracket, I'm thinking.
Yeah, so I've got it pulled up on Twitter, so we'll have the numbers covered there. I'm starting with round 1, game 1A. Again, the conferences are A, B, C, D, going from up left, up right, down right.
Beautiful. So the first one we've got Tommy Pickles versus Ralph Bighead. No surprise here. Ralph, although we love him as a character, could not compete against the great and mighty Tommy Pickles.
He could not, you're right. But it is interesting to note that Ralph Bighead made the biggest dent against the 1 seeds of all, I believe. We'll see as we go, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Ralph Bighead got a whopping 9% of the vote. The 1 seeds really dominated, which apparently means they deserved to be 1 seeds. But we got 147 votes in this one. We had the most votes by far in this game specifically, because it's the first one you see when you open the thread. Tommy got 91% of those votes. Pretty simple. I think that's all we need to say about that one.
Yeah. Next up, we had Ren versus Hoodsy Bishop. This is another one of those 8 versus 9 seeds. Ren ended up winning out. This one I wasn't so sure on. It is what I predicted, but I was kind of torn between Ren and Hoodsy, and sort of just thought, those Ren and Stimpy fans are really loving their Ren and Stimpy, and I wasn't sure if Hoodsy was as known in the broader community.
Yeah, he's not. Well, last year an interesting thing to look at statistically was whether the prediction ratio is similar to the voting ratio. So we got 20 brackets ultimately for our predictions. 7 of them picked Hoodsie to win, including myself. Wah wah. But Hoodsie got 27% of the vote. So more people predicted Hoodsie. More people predicted that Hoodsie would win than actually voted for him. Ren had a 73%. And generally the cutoff for me of like whether it was a solid like statement win or not, for me the cutoff's about 75%. If you've got anywhere from 51 to 74%, it's like, okay, you won, but, you know, it was somewhat close. But Hoodsie did not make it close enough for Ren. Hoodsie is eliminated, unfortunately.
Yeah. Rough day. Moving forward, we have Azula versus Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot there. And we'll see this as we go on, too. It's looking like the Avatar voting block, if that's what we want to call it. It looks like they're there. It looks like they're getting votes.
They showed up.
Yeah. And it just looks like it's going well for them. So Azula did win.
They did the Avatar voting block did Pokemon go to the polls,
oh, no.
as they say.
Oh, no. My fellow kids, God.
My instinct was that Jenny Wakeman from Teenage Robot would get crushed in this poll. She did not. She got 23% of the vote to Azula's 77%. So it was a big win for Azula, a statement win above that 75% threshold that I made up. But Jenny got some votes against a very strong character. So props to Teenage Robot, because we're going to get to Tucker in a little bit, but it did not go nearly as well for Tucker.
As it should have been.
Yeah.
Up next we had Lois Foutley versus Waffle. I figured this one would be pretty obvious. Waffle is just not a very well-known character, right? He's Cat Scratch, short-lived, sad as it is. Just did not make it long enough, I don't think, to really stay in people's minds. So Lois did win that one out as well.
Yeah, the 3 Cat Scratch cats went down together in one fell swoop, which is kind of sad. All 3 lost. However, Ashley, Waffle did the best by far of all the 3 cats, and this was our second closest game of the entire first round. Lois got 53% of the vote.
Yeah.
This was within 6%. Waffle almost won. A couple more votes go his way, and Lois is out in round 1.
Yeah, and I think that kind of, I mean, no offense to anyone who had her going forward, and again, this is just my thoughts. I think that really means Lois probably does not have a good shot going in against Azula in this upcoming week, which we'll get more into those later, but...
Yeah, Azula's got the statement win. Lois barely skirted by against a character most people haven't even heard of.
Yeah, so I don't...
But we'll see.
We'll see. I'm just saying, it's not looking so hot.
It is not.
After that, we got Nigel Thornberry versus Crumb. The memes won out on that bad boy. Not shocking there.
Yeah. Similar to the Cat Scratch cats, all 3 of our beloved monsters from All Real Monsters went down together. That's Ickis, Crumb, and Oblina. So Crumb is the first to go down, only got 9% of the vote, which Nigel, if we were to do the math of lowest seed to biggest victory ratio, if there were some equation, Nigel would have that. Nigel's only a 6 seed, but got 91% of the vote with a sample size of 138. That's a huge victory, and we'll talk about our predictions more in the next section, but Nigel many people have him going far, and this shows that he could. Do not underestimate Nigel Thornberry.
Like you said, you gotta consider the memes. You really gotta consider the memes.
Unfortunate, but true.
After we got Danny Phantom versus Patty Mayonnaise. Again, I don't think Doug is a particularly large fan base, and we saw Danny Phantom make it pretty far in our show version of Nick Madness last year, so I'm not surprised at all to see him win this one out.
Yeah, 90% of the vote for Danny, 10% for Patty. Honestly, Patty did better than I thought she would. Danny Phantom, in our predictions, only one person has him reaching the Elite Eight, which I found very surprising, because I think reaching the Final Four, because I think he has a strong shot to get to the Final Four, and this matchup proves that.
Yeah, I think, so just given what happened last year, that Danny Phantom could very easily make it decently far. It's gonna be tough. I think that'll be a game to watch. The Nigel versus Danny one, I think that could really go either way. It depends. Are the memes gonna show up more than the Phantom fans? I don't know. Cat Dog versus Filbert. Cat Dog won out there. Did any of the Rocco's people make it any further? Rocco himself,
won.
Yes. Okay.
Rocco beat Reg, yeah. But here's this one broke my heart the most, because, I did my campaigning for Filbert. I fought hard for him, but he only got 19% of the vote here in a 7 versus a 10, and a Nicktoon that a lot of people hate. A lot of people do not like Cat Dog, and Cat Dog won handily with 81% of the vote. So, sorry, Filbert, you deserve better. And I almost put Filbert from Rocco's Modern Life, but I decided if you only put the show for one character, people are going to be more inclined to vote for the one that stands alone and doesn't need the show to be referenced, right?
Yeah,
You know?
That's fair. Yeah, I think it would have only made sense if there was a character that showed up in 2 shows, right? Like if there was a Filbert that was a fairly main character in a different show as well,
yeah.
something like that, but wasn't the
Totally.
case. So I think we were okay on that. Yeah, I'm not shocked on that one. It is a little sad. I'm thinking, too, if that Rocco special had happened sooner, he might have had a better chance, right? But
If it had been more fresh.
yeah, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll never know, but it's a potential possibility there, right?
Maybe. Well, this last game is very interesting. There's a lot to unpack in what happened here.
In Helga versus Sandy?
Yes, the last game of Conference A. Helga won with 63% of the vote, which is not very comfortable. And Helga is the third most picked to win it all of our predictions. So Helga, this was close, and Sandy was a 15 seed, and maybe that was bad seeding on my part, but Sandy got 37% of the vote.
I will be honest, I considered having Sandy win this one in my bracket. I didn't, but I did consider that. I thought there was a chance that she'd show up to play, but this is another one of those too where this is one where handily people predicted Helga to win over Sandy. Only 3 people had Sandy winning this game.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
right.
so I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how far she gets, and I think, like you said, maybe it's just that Sandy was underestimated in popularity. I'm not really sure. We'll have to watch.
Yeah, and similarly, the game before, Filbert and Cat Dog were pretty even prediction-wise, but Cat Dog crushed Filbert, so the predictors is not a good way to predict who actually ends up winning based on favorites. It's an interesting sort of game theory.
Yeah, I will say almost everyone, and again, this isn't necessarily telling, but almost everyone has Helga winning the following game as well. We've got,
which I think Helga will win.
I think
Cat
so
Dog.
too. I think so too. Not a single person has Cat Dog winning that game.
Wow. Some had Filbert?
1 Filbert and 2 Sandys. But 0 people have Cat Dog winning that game. So if Cat Dog wins that one out, it will be a complete... It'll be a lost game, right? Just no points for anyone.
No one gets any, yeah. Well, speaking of lost games, let's head to Conference B here. Every single bracket predicted Prince Zuko to win this game, which means the game might as well not have happened, point-wise. Zuko won, everyone gets a point. And Zuko got 93% of the vote against the almighty tallest, who got 7%.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how well the almighty tallest is really known even within the Zim fan base, so I would have been surprised to see Zuko go down here, but I'm really interested to see the Zuko Katara game that we're going to have going on. I think that one's going to be interesting.
Man.
Those are 2 strong characters from that show, and I'm rooting for Zuko, to be honest. I think he is... I just think he's the best character in that show and in Nicktoons overall. I don't have
So,
him
like,
predicted as... What?
Here's an analogy for you then. Prince Zuko is the cheese of Wacky Deli.
Oh my goodness.
If Wacky Deli is all Nicktoons. I am the best character on this channel.
Yeah, he is though, you know? And so yeah, I'm glad that he didn't go down here. Not surprised that he didn't go down here, but that does bring us into our first upset, I think, right?
Yeah, and a major one, or not a major one in terms of seeds, but Katara crushed Auto Rocket with 81% of the vote. Katara was, again, with 8 and 9 seeds, they might as well both be 8.5 seeds. Like, there's barely a distinction. But Auto got decimated here, and I think it's great. I love Katara.
Yeah, I do too. And that's why, again, I'm really interested to see this Prince Zuko versus Katara game. I think... I don't know. I would not be shocked to see that one go either way. I had Zuko winning it, but let me see in the predictions. How do people have that one playing out? Looks like most people have Zuko, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Kataras. That's pretty strong. I think
there's some Katara even in the final 4.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it could happen. I'm also looking of our top 16 in the left half, so round 2 after what we just voted on, it's almost 50-50 male-female, which is very interesting.
Oh, nice.
We got 3 female characters in Conference A left, and 3 in the bottom one. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, so it's 6 out of... it's actually not quite 50-50, I was wrong. But, regardless, cool that Katara won. She's a great character, and I was worried she wouldn't get recognized in that way.
So, yeah, like I said, that'll be a good game to watch.
Absolutely.
Afterwards...
Yeah, back to the memes.
Hugh Neutron.
Hugh wins over Twister with 82% of the vote. Not a ton to dissect here. Hugh is great. So is Twister. Good for Twister for getting an 18%, but obviously wasn't enough.
Yeah, and not surprising at all. Next one as well, not a shocker here. Angelica beating out Doug. Again, I don't think Doug's got a strong fan base out there. And, I mean, Doug's not that interesting of a character, right? He doesn't have a lot to him. So, what are the percentages on that bad boy?
Closer than Angelica fans would like. 68% to 32%. So pretty close. Not a good sign for Angelica moving forward.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This next one here, I was surprised. This is Timmy's dad versus Sheen. And I thought Sheen, given that he had his own show and given all the Neutron fans, I thought he would edge it out. I thought it would be close, and it wasn't even that close of a game.
No, Timmy's dad got that statement win with 76% to Sheen's 24%. So, Timmy's dad, I think rightfully, advances to play Patrick.
Yeah, and that leads us into that guy. Patrick Star versus Tucker. Tucker's terrible, and I hate him. We all know that.
Not that Tucker, though.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
The good Tucker.
Well, I totally forgot that when I was voting. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm great, you guys. I'm great. Either way, I mean, I don't think many people would have beat out Patrick Star.
No, and he only got 8% of the vote.
Yeah.
And this was at 100% to 0 for a long time, so he must have gotten a couple votes at the last minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I totally forgot. Wow, that shows how much recognition he deserves. Poor Tuck.
Yeah, it was. I should have put Tuck and not Tucker, even though that is his full name.
Yeah, I think I immediately go to the whatever. I don't think either way it was gonna beat out Patrick.
No way.
He's a big name. Moving on, we've got our good old Norb Beaver versus Sam Manson, and we'll see this later too. Both of the Beavers won their games, and good for them. Good for the Beavers.
Yeah, we weren't sure. I remember when Ashli and I were creating the tournament, we were like, what do we do about the Beavers? Do they do a play-in? Do they go together? We were like, no, let's put them separate and on opposite sides. And so could you imagine if they met in the middle somehow?
Oh, man. The championship game. Norb versus Dag.
There are a couple fun ones that could happen. We could have SpongeBob Patrick, very conceivably.
Timmy Power Hour, right? I think.
Well, no, that would
Oh
be
no, that would
an
be that would
Elite
be.
Eight
You're right.
game.
You're right.
But they could. That'll be interesting because that will almost certainly happen. We could have Arnold Helga championship. We could have Prince Zuko and Aang, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
All three of those, I think, are super likely championships.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm really unsure of how things are going to play out in the long run, but glad that the Beaver made his way through. Sam, I think, is a fun character, but I think Norb deserved this win.
Agreed. And this one was close, 64% to 36%.
Yeah.
A lot of votes on this one. Sam is great. We bid you adieu. You're a wonderful character, but not wonderful enough to be in our top 32, apparently.
Yeah. Speaking of wonderful characters, though, Ginger Foutley did beat out Ickis. Again, we said all the monsters went down. Ginger, from, of course, as told by Ginger, not surprised on that one.
So, Ashley, have you looked at this poll lately?
No, I haven't.
I want you to guess what percent Ickis got.
I feel like you mentioned that it was close. Am I crazy? Okay, I'm going to say 32%.
Pretty close. 38%
Nice.
for Ickis, which really doesn't bode well for Ginger going forward. Luckily, Ginger's in a relatively weaker portion of the conference, but I don't know. It'll be Ginger versus Norbert next, and let's say she gets out of that, which she might not, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
She very well might. In fact, given both of them barely made... Both of them had around 63%.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen? I mean, they're both not the most recognizable characters ever. But whoever wins that will go on to play either Timmy's dad or Patrick Star. So I really don't know. Any of the four could win that side.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we get to move up to Conference C.
Let's do it. Yeah, so that concludes day one of voting. Again, like we tweeted out, congrats to Celeste and Trevor S. for having perfect day ones. And then Ray and Allie the writer, you guys had perfect day twos.
Yeah, it's been a solid set of people. I got one wrong, I think, on each of those. So
Yeah.
hanging in there. I've got one guaranteed loss though, so we'll have to see how that all hashes out.
Right.
Anyways, moving forward, SpongeBob Oblina, SpongeBob obliterated. No shockers there.
Guess the percent that Oblina got.
I don't know, like 5.
0.
Oh my god.
Not a single vote for Oblina.
That's embarrassing.
It's the only game in which that happened.
That's-
Oh, nope. Sorry. There are 3 more that happened.
Wow.
Day 2 was very
Vicious.
decisive.
Yeah. Next we had Carl versus Vicky. This one I thought was going to be pretty close too. I had Carl winning out, but I wasn't super sure on that.
Yeah, it was a comfortable win for Carl, 74%.
Yeah.
Which I believe makes Carl, the only 8 seed that won? No, Ran also won.
Yeah. But
So 2 8s and 2 9s.
there you go. Next.
We also, important to note, we only had 3 upsets in all of this, and 2 of them were 9 seeds over 8s. We'll get to the other upset. Oh, look at that. Right now, actually. I did not plan that. The biggest upset of the night was Sokka over Chucky Finster. Chucky was a 5 seed, Sokka was a 12. So we got a double-digit seed alive in the tournament. He's the only double-digit seed left.
And
So I'll be and has a path to keep moving forward. So we'll see.
And as I said before, I really do think that the Avatar fans are there. I think they're coming out. I thought I actually had Chucky winning that game and winning against Eliza. To be fair, I still think Sokka could very well beat out Eliza Thornberry. That's just my thinking. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Thornberry fans other than the meme fans that'll go for Nigel, but I'm not sure. I think Sokka very well could win that upcoming game as well.
Yeah, I predicted Eliza to win the Sokka. I predicted Sokka, but then I predicted Eliza to beat him. But I think if I were doing it now, I would have Sokka win. I don't know.
Yeah, I like I said, I think the Avatar fans are there. But yeah, that brings us to the next one. Eliza versus Oscar Kakashka. Love Oscar. He's a great guy. And by great, I mean horrible.
Yeah.
Which also, we had the Oscars over the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully you guys saw the thing that Nick Splat put out, which was like, and the Oscar goes to, and it was a picture of him as a statue, and it was saying like, I'll bet some of your friends who like won't get off your couch deserve this award or something like that. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it was cute. What were the stats on this one?
This one, Eliza 75%, which for who she was up against, not the most reassuring, but by my made-up metric is a statement victory, which does bode well for her. Sokka only got 61% of his, so if you just took those, Eliza would win, but clearly that's not how it works. We now have to reevaluate between the two of them. I have no idea who's going to win that one.
That one's gonna be big, I think. Next we have Rocco versus Reggie Rocket. Poor Reg loses out to Rocco, which again, that's how we had the seeds, so not a shocker there. And you know, I was glad to at least see one of the main three from Rocco's pull through to live another day.
Yeah. So Rocco keeps Rocco's alive, but now I'm realizing, you know, Reg going down is the third of the three Rockets in the tournament, and we've already seen that. We will see that Tito, spoiler alert, didn't make it. So Rocket Power is eliminated from the tournament. Ariel Monsters is eliminated from the tournament, and Cat Scratch is eliminated. I believe those are the only... No, Doug as well. Doug is gone.
Yeah, I think that's all the shows. I think that's all the ones that are completely knocked out, right? But
everything else is still hanging in there.
But, yeah, not too shocking there.
Another one gets eliminated in this next round.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Grandpa Phil versus Snap. Chalk Zone goes down. No surprises there. I think Snap's great, but
95% of the vote here.
Grandpa Phil is also just great, and I love him so much, and I'm so glad that even if it was just against Snap, I'm just glad that he got a victory here. He deserves it.
Absolutely, and I think he's got a great shot against Rocco.
Yeah. We next then have Gerald versus Macy. Gerald ends up winning out. Not surprised on that one either. Gerald is a great character. He's, you know, he's solid. He's from Hey Arnold, and Hey Arnold, I think did all of the Hey Arnold characters win that we have in here?
Yeah, Grandpa, not Oscar.
Oh, you're right, Oscar, okay.
But Gerald wins, Helga wins, Arnold wins, and Grandpa Phil wins.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of Hey Arnold in here. So I think a couple of those might get knocked down in the later rounds, but you know, they live to see another day. I do love Macy. But
yeah, I love Macy too, and she did well. This was our third closest matchup. Macy got 40%, Gerald got 60%. So this was close and doesn't look great for Gerald, especially who he's going up against.
Oh, yeah. So, yep, moving forward from there, we've got Aang versus Dib. Aang wins, and again, this isn't any shocker. The Zim fans, I don't think, are crazy strong, and Aang I think is a potential contender for champ, to be honest.
Absolutely, and I think it would be totally merited. Aang got 100% of the vote, so you could call that a statement win, I think.
Yeah, you know. I would say poor Dib, but I don't really care for Dib too much anyways.
No one does. He barely made the tournament.
All right, let's move on to our last conference here, Conference D. We had Arnold versus Mr. Blick, and again, this is another one of the cats going down. Arnold wins out, and the one seeds are the one seeds for a reason. Those are pretty obvious victories.
And given Hey Arnold's performance last year, I am nervous for Arnold this year. I think he's a potential winner. I don't want to skew the voting, but I'm just going to say this because it's so fascinating. Not a single championship prediction for Arnold.
Huh.
Overall.
That's a little surprising to me.
Yeah. Every other one seed appears in someone's pick to win it all.
But again, we have seen the predictions are not predictive, so who knows?
You're right. But Arnold got 100% of these votes, so that made me reassured as a big Arnold fan.
Yeah.
And I'll keep voting for him all the way.
And I think the thing is, though, is Mr. Blick, again, it's kind of a hard character to put him up against and to try and compare.
Yeah.
Again, it's Cat Scratch. It's not a super well-known show, so we'll have to see. I think him against Cosmo will be an interesting match for us to
It will.
figure it
I
out.
would be very sad if Cosmo wins, but he totally could.
Yeah, so we've got Cosmo won over Stimpy, and this is the last upset of our beginning of the tournament here. This one I think is almost potentially a contention for seeding there as well. But I think it's tough because Cosmo's not like a main character, if that makes sense. Whereas Stimpy is one of the very main characters in Ren and Stimpy. But yeah, Cosmo wins that one out.
And I much prefer Stimpy to Ren. So it's interesting that Ren won, but maybe Hoodsy is weaker than Cosmo. Cosmo got 78% of the vote, so a pretty decisive victory, but not, didn't annihilate Stimpy.
No, but again, I think that's one of those, maybe those seeds were off a little, who knows.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see if he can knock out Arnold. I don't necessarily think it'll happen, but I wouldn't be stunned.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cosmo's got some strong power there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Past that, we have Squidward Tentacles versus Heifer. Heifer is, he's something, but Squidward is, I don't know how far Squidward will go. I don't know how much people like Squidward, but I'm not shocked that he beat out a Rocco's character by any means.
Well, based on our sample, everyone prefers Squidward to Heifer. Squidward's a 5 seed who got 100% of the vote. That's impressive, even if he doesn't last another game.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that makes sense, right? He's a way more well-known character, but I'll be interested to see him against Zim. We've got Zim beat out Tito, which is poor Casey's incorrect prediction on that one.
It was my one risky one. You know how I said there would be 2 shocking upsets right away? I don't think there were any shocking upsets.
No, and I mean, I had the one upset I had was
Macy?
No, I had Sheen.
You had Sheen, yeah.
And that one clearly didn't go down. So I mean, you gotta make some gambles in these, right? You never know on the polls, so sometimes you're gonna make a gamble. This one didn't pay off, so Zim wins out. But I think Zim versus Squidward will be interesting because again, I think Squidward versus any other main SpongeBob character would go to the other character, right? Like I think SpongeBob and Patrick would both win out against Squidward easily. But Zim is interesting. I'm really uncertain because we thought Zim would make it far last year in Nick Madness, and the show didn't make it. So I'm interested to see if the character has any better luck.
That's why I was careful with Zim this year. But Zim got 86% of the vote, a very clear victory.
Yeah. We then have our standalone Cora against Stu Pickles, and Cora wins out. Again,
thank goodness.
Not surprising, and we are seeing some strong. Oh wait, did any Avatar, and I know she's her own show, but Avatar universe characters get eliminated, or are they all in it?
They all won.
Every
single one of them, and 2 of them were upsets.
I mean, to be fair, they are ridiculously strong characters, right? I think just like inherently they've got a lot of stronger personalities here. But yeah, Cora wins out against Stu. No surprises.
And they were already very represented. So there are now 9 of our 32 are from Hey Arnold and Avatar.
Yeah, but look, they deserved it.
They do.
And I think I'm interested to see. I wouldn't even be surprised if, well, obviously not every Avatar character can win, but I wouldn't be surprised if every Avatar character that is against a non-Avatar character wins. Like, I would not be shocked to see that progression.
Yeah. An Avatar Final Four.
Who knows?
We could, in theory, have Korra, Aang, Zuko, and Azula.
Yeah, we could.
That would be awesome, not gonna lie.
That would be, I wouldn't even be mad.
No, me neither.
So yeah, after that we had our Jimmy Neutron versus Donnie. I don't think Donnie's a particularly well-liked character, and of course we have our large Jimmy fan base on Twitter, so I would have been stunned to see this go any other way.
Yeah, Jimmy got 92% of the vote, so a little bit of love for Donnie, but not nearly enough.
Yeah, no, and again, not surprising there. This next one I had a little bit of trouble predicting. Daggett Beaver versus Darwin. Again, I wasn't sure how the Beavers were going to go, but Beavers won out. Beavers were staying strong.
Yeah, and this one was decided by one vote. We only got 25 votes on this one because it was, near the end of the second day and all that. And there was a 4% spread. So one vote goes differently and Darwin wins this. So this was our closest matchup. And Daggett survived, which I'm glad about because I predicted Daggett and I voted for Daggett. But Darwin could have won. So
yeah, and
yeah.
I said this is one of the harder ones for me to predict. That being said, going forward, I will be all sorts of shocked if he beats out Timmy Turner. Timmy Turner beat out Gordon, putting the nail in the coffin of the cat scratch cats there. No surprises. He's just, it's Timmy Turner. Again, whether or not you like him as a character, I think against an almost no-namer Gordon, just not surprising.
No, it is not, and I'm glad for it. Timmy got 93% of the vote. I adore Gordon, but he only got 7%, which is about right. Just glad he got a place at the table. And that concludes our round 1 discussion. We've got our top 32 now, which we just named very slowly over the last half hour for you.
Yeah, I think we're good to actually not do the round 2 preview. I think we kind of did that within there.
Yeah, we kind of did. Why don't we just really quick highlight the ones that are going to be like, oh man, you know?
But before then, do we want to do our prediction leaderboards really quick?
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, so far, everybody's Final Four is still intact. Nobody has anybody in the Final Four that has already been eliminated. There is one Elite Eight knockout, which I forget who that was. I think it was Macy. Somebody had.
Yeah.
Going a little bit further. But other than that, right now it's really hard to say until we start knocking out those big names. That's when the points are really going to start to fall, right? Once your champ goes down, you're almost guaranteed to be ruined. So further we get in, the more we're going to understand who's really in it to win it. We definitely saw a lot of leaderboard jumps last year. So although I'm comfortably ahead of Casey right now, I'm in second place and Casey's tied for 6th. We're
right.
Only 2 points off. We're only 2 predictions off, and that is not a lot of points in the grand scheme of this adventure we've got going on.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley. I have not done real math in a long time, but last year our tournament was like linear in our point system, where round 1 was 1 point, round 2 was 2 points, etc. Okay, I should go further to illustrate my point. Round 1 was 1 point, round 2 was 2 points, round 3 was 3 points. Now and so on. Now we are doubling it every time, so it's like an exponential sort of thing, right? So we're going round 1 is 1, round 2 is worth 2 points.
No,
round 3 is worth 4.
It's still linear, right? It's just that the slope is higher. You got a slope of 2 instead of a slope of 1. Exponential would be if it was like 2 to the second, or you get what I'm saying, right? Like 2 to the second points, 2 to that would get ridiculous really quick.
Right.
We're not quite skewing it that much. So
we're just doubling it every time.
Again, it's just a steeper slope now. So the higher games really do pull a lot of weight here.
Right. And if you're feeling a little bummed about your round 1 performance, which no one really should be, everyone's doing fine. Just know that if you get the champion right, you win as many points as someone who had a perfect bracket up to this point would have. The champion is worth 32 points, and that's for a reason. You gotta win it all to win it all. You gotta get that champion. Unless everyone gets the champion wrong, in which case, wow, something went... I guess Arnold could win, But that's where that's at. So obviously, what is more important than winning these cheap early games is keeping your big players alive. So right now you should have your Sweet 16 completely still intact. Otherwise, you've got a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, and we'll just have to wait it out. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, there's so much more game left. Definitely don't give up hope yet. Like I said, we've got plenty of games left. I think that's all we really have to say right now about the predictions. Again, once it gets a little bit tighter, we'll have a better idea of who who's really in it to win it. But so far we have Ray is in first place with 31 points, so only one incorrect prediction.
Crushing it. And what was that? Oh, Sam Manson over Norbert.
Yeah, so...
Which was a very close one, so killing it, Ray. And then, yeah, tied for second is Celeste, Trevor S., and Ashley, all with 30 points. So you guys each got 2 wrong each. You're doing very well. Ashley actually is in the most trouble just because she had Chucky winning one more game, but that's barely relevant.
And as I say, that's still a 2-point game.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm not gonna feel terrible about myself on that one. And actually, a lot of people had Chucky with me. There was there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people predicted Chucky. So I'm not feeling too rough about that one. It is what it is. Keep moving forward, right? So.
Totally. And then in 5th is Allie the Writer in her own place on the leaderboard, 29 points. Tied for 6th is myself, my we're in between co-host Patricia, Dylan S., and Yesenia. We all had 28 points. We're hanging out there right in the middle-ish, a little slightly above the middle. In 10th was my friend Max, Twitter user AC Wilder, my roommate Michael. Those guys are all tied for 10th with 27 points. My friend Courtney is in 13th with 26 points. Jason and Cam are in 14th with 25. Norbert is in 16th with 24 points. My dad and Sean are tied for 17th with 23 points. My friend Jay is in 19th with 22 points. And Marlena is in 20th with 16 points.
Again, there's a lot of game left. I'm sure those will shift around a ton, so don't give up hope. We've seen some people come back from some rougher spots into better places, so lots of games.
If you get that Final Four right, you're pretty much in.
Yeah, so that's going to clean that one up. Let's quickly go through, let's see, like I said, I think we kind of touched on what I think will be the biggest games here. Mm-hmm. I think Nigel, Danny Phantom will be interesting, the memes versus Danny.
Yeah. Yes, and Azula Lois will be interesting because I think the favorite is the lower seed.
Yeah, I think Azula's got a great shot at this one. I love Lois, but I just don't know.
I have Azula winning that, and then I have Azula beating Tommy, both of which I still think are very possible.
Yeah. Again, Prince Zuko Katara, I think that's the game I might be most interested in. That's the game to watch for me. I think we're
you think Katara has a shot?
I think so. I don't know. I'm interested to see it, right? That's the only matchup, correct me if I'm wrong, of a show against itself that we have coming up.
So far, yes.
And I think it's just really interesting to look at characters against each other from the same show. I think it's, I don't know, it's the game I'm most interested to see the outcome of. I think Zuko will win it, but I don't know. I just don't know where the Avatar fans lie. This will be just a clear shot at figuring that one out.
For sure. Yeah, now you're right. I didn't really give that enough thought. If Prince Zuko gets knocked out, a lot of people are screwed on their brackets.
Yeah, but if a lot of people are screwed, then is anyone screwed, right? Depending on how many people.
Right. True.
Potentially, but hey, I'm just saying that for me, that's the one that I'm and it might just be a blowout, but I think it'll be close. I have this inkling.
Hugh and Angelica will also be interesting. No idea who wins that one.
Yeah, who's against Angelica?
Hugh.
Neutron? Yeah. I think I actually had Hugh winning that one out. I think I went with the memes on that.
I think I do too.
And just because Angelica's not very likable and, she's well known, but Korra, Jimmy Neutron, I think could be interesting. I think the Jimmy Neutron fans will be there, but again, this is the first introduction we have into the Avatar fan base, and I'm interested to see, are they stronger than the... Honestly, overall, I think I'm just most interested to see where they all end up, because we just don't really know. We don't have enough sort of understanding of how strong their votes are until we're facing them against characters of more relevance, right? In the first round, yeah, most of them won out, but they won out against smaller fish, right? So I'm just interested to watch for that. Nothing else is screaming out to me. I'm sure we'll have more games, but I feel like I'm about good to wrap this up. Is there anything else you wanted to call out?
I'm stressed about Norbert Ginger. I care a lot about both of those characters.
That's fair. Yeah, and I think I had Ginger winning that one. But honestly, I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't
both
know.
Barely won.
They're both kind of they just skated by, so one of them's going to keep skating. I'm going to assume, honestly, I don't think either of them would win against either Timmy's dad or Patrick Star, but we'll see.
Yeah. We already talked about how Sokka could do some damage. I don't know if Carl stands a chance against SpongeBob. Rocco and Grandpa Phil, it's another one I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just, we'll just have to wait and see.
I'll bet there'll be some more major upsets, though, or some actual major upsets, not just Sokka.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it, but I think that's going to wrap up just about everything. Obviously, these episodes will get a little shorter as we have less to talk about, and or maybe not even shorter, but we'll be able to get more in depth into the games. But we have so many, you can only talk so much, and 2 sentences about each is gonna take up a while. So get your votes in though, guys. Make sure to look out for those polls, which are going out over the weekend, right?
They are, yes. We'll get into that into the conclusion, but last kind of little thoughts here. Keep in mind that last season we essentially started in round 3, right?
Right.
We only had 16 entries, so we haven't even narrowed it down to what we originally had. So we got a lot of games to talk about. These are a lot of characters. It's fun to have so many because really none of us know what's going to happen. I don't include the seeds in the Twitter polls, and I think that will help get rid of any biases people might have about who we think might be the stronger characters. So this is where I think we'll start to see that the seeds don't really mean anything. They're pretty arbitrary here. No one did anything to earn them. We just gave it to them.
Yeah, and I think there's some obvious ones, right? Like the 1 seeds are they make sense, and I don't think anyone's going to be too contentious on those, but we'll have to see how things play out. That being said, are you good to move forward to the conclusion?
I am, yeah. Alright guys, so our Twitter poll this week is, we've got about 32 of them, and the first one is, which character do you think is better, Tommy or Ren? The second one is, which character do you think... no Twitter poll. I mean, obviously, yes, we'll have Twitter polls. Just keep voting. Round 2's polls, we have moved them back a little bit, a little earlier than we originally were planning. It'll be Saturday the 10th, so if you're listening to it on Friday, because it's the Friday Night Nicktoons podcast, and you probably should, do what you want, whatever. But the first batch of round 2 Twitter polls will be on Saturday. That'll be conferences A and B. Then, on the 11th, we'll do the second half, and these will be 2-day polls, so you'll have a little more wiggle room, and we'll have some overlap of all of them, which will be nice. Super excited to see how these ones turn out. I can't wait to vote. I always try to vote first as soon as I post them. And then it looks like I decided it for a little bit because they're all at 100%, the ones I voted for.
Keep your eye out for them. Make sure that you don't keep Casey too excited for too long on his 100% there. Next week, obviously, we'll be discussing those results from round 2. Talk again about who's leading after all of that in the prediction brackets, and previewing for our round 3. So things will get a lot more heated. I am sure we're going to see some crazy upsets. Really looking forward to that one. So nothing shocking there for upcoming, but I'm sure we'll have shocking news to cover.
Oh yeah. Let's just hope I don't have to start next week's with Adagio for strings like after Hey Arnold got eliminated last year.
Oh, that was rough. That was a rough day.
Tough day. Okay, social media blast. We got Twitter, we got Facebook, we got YouTube, we got Apple Podcasts. You have to vote on Twitter, unfortunately. So if you don't have a Twitter, just make a Twitter egg account. Just use it to vote. You don't have to tweet, but you can tweet if you want. That's pretty much it on social media. Thank you guys so much for participating. We love hearing from you, and we love seeing all the new fans that have come in yet again for Nick Madness.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, as always, guys, for listening, and we'll see you next week.